He just wanted to clean the window, but the ruthless wall crushed him. The wall pressed so tightly he could barely breathe. The woman was confused. What's going on? Liu Mengqiang thought he was hallucinating. But at noon while cooking, he suddenly realized something was wrong with the eggs. Curious, he picked one up and squeezed it. It was empty inside. Then he grabbed the dozen eggs he bought that day and crushed them all one by one. They were all hollow. That evening, her husband Dashan came home from work. Xiaomei told him about the empty eggs, but his face suddenly changed. He hurried out claiming there was an emergency at work. After that, Xiaomei never saw another hollow egg again. The couple lived in a so-called perfect community. All the men there worked for the Victory Group, built on the mountaintop. No one knew what the men actually did. The women only knew every day they sent their husbands off to work in sports cars. And after that, their only job was housework. The rest of their time was spent relaxing and having fun. Of course, they also cared about their figures and practiced posture and fitness. To them, this life seemed almost perfect. But one day, the town held a welcoming ceremony because a new couple had just moved in. The mayor, Huang Maosi, smiled proudly at his community. Just then, a black woman suddenly shouted, "Why are we here?" Her partner tried to hold her down, but she kept mumbling, saying they had to leave or something. Everyone was confused. No one knew what was happening. Mayor Huang Maozi suddenly stood up. He said this community has no poverty, no pain. How could anyone want to leave? As he spoke, everyone below smiled sincerely. But when Xiaomei looked around, she realized Dashan was gone. She went to the back to look for him and found that same black woman again. The woman kept murmuring, "I'm not fine. Nothing is fine. I have bad." The man beside her quickly pulled the curtain shut. The next day, Xiaomei saw her husband off, but for the first time, she didn't clean or do housework. Instead, she took a bus to clear her mind. On the bus, she saw a plane trailing smoke. The plane crashed straight into the mountain. "Oh my God, stop! Stop that plane! It just crashed!" Xiaomei begged the driver to take her there to help. But the fat driver said he wasn't allowed in that area. No matter what Xiaomei said, he wouldn't move. So she got off the bus herself. The driver glanced nervously in that direction and drove away. Xiaomei jogged on, not noticing a big red warning sign ahead. It said, "Danger Zone." She walked for a long time in her small shoes, but when she arrived, the plane was gone. She found herself standing near a facility. It was where the men worked, but the place was too small. How could it hold hundreds of men? Curious, Xiaomei placed her hands on the wall. Suddenly, a red light flashed. Her head tilted back, and she fainted when she woke up in bed. She wasn't sure if it had been a dream. She stepped out. Dashan was making dinner. Xiaomei told him what had happened, but Dashan said she'd been asleep all afternoon. Maybe it really had been a dream. But during her next fitness session, something strange happened. One woman moved her arms stiffly because she noticed the mirror didn't look right. The black woman inside was copying her exactly until their hands touched the glass. Everyone froze. The women looked at Xiaomei in confusion. When she looked again, the black woman was gone. She ran out of the studio straight to the black woman's house. But when she arrived, the black woman was already standing on the roof. Expressionless, she drew a knife across her throat. Xiaomei tried to rush up, but two people in red suits appeared and carried her away. No matter how she struggled, it was useless that night. Xiaomei told Dashan, something was off about this place. Everything here felt wrong. She asked what he actually did at work every day, but Dashan refused to talk. Xiaomei kept pressing, what if this place is dangerous? What if... Stop it. Dashan said his job was confidential, and if she kept acting like this, they could lose the life they had. That night, Xiaomei hallucinated. She felt herself sinking underwater. Unable to move, the next day, she felt her life wasn't real anymore. For some reason, she grabbed plastic wrap and started wrapping her head, layer after layer until she couldn't breathe. She panicked and tore it off, finally gasping for air. It felt real now. She almost suffocated. Dashan brought her to a doctor. The doctor said she was exhausted and might have mild psychological issues. He prescribed some medicine. But Xiaomei noticed the file the doctor brought when he and Dashan stepped out to talk. She secretly took the black woman's medical record. But when she opened it, every page was blacked out, as if the woman had never existed. Xiaomei realized something was terribly wrong. Everyone here was hiding something. Days later, Xiaomei invited Mayor Huang Maosi and a few neighbors over for dinner. Just as they were about to eat, she suddenly asked Violet, "Where are you from?" I said, "Where are you from?"